So I thought what we'd do is, Megan, we'll just have you kick us off, and then we wanted this to be primarily a Q&A. But Megan has some stuff we want to cover first. And um, do you think it'd be a good idea for us to go through the schedule, Megan, or you want to just go straight to Q&A?
I mean, we could do a quick run through of the schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why don't you kick us off and we'll get going?
Yeah. So hi everybody. Really excited about your upcoming treks. I'm just gonna do a few reminders real quick. If you haven't made your full payment, it's due by June 1st. All paperwork is due by June 1st as well. A lot of you have already sent me your paperwork, so thank you. Um, we'll give you some time to ask any questions if y'all have questions about the paperwork. But just to review, we only need immunization records for the child, and we need to make sure that the child has signed, I think it's like 3 or 4 spots in the paperwork. So I know they're minors, but their signatures are still required. Um, and then um, I'm sorry, I just got distracted. Okay, paperwork. There should be a link that I sent out this morning where you can upload your files to Dropbox, or if it's small enough, you can email it to me directly. And then t-shirts. I have ordered all of our t-shirts. Yay. They should come probably for the first trek. You will definitely get your shirts on your July trek. And then the June trek will get your shirts on the June trek. July trek, you could possibly pick your shirts up before the trek if you want to come by the office and get them. If not, you will get them on your trek as well. Same for the Suns. And then I also need to know if anybody is planning on not whitewater rafting. I need to make sure I get those numbers to our rafting company. So if you know you're not going to be able to raft, please send me an email this week and let me know. And if I don't hear from you, I'm going to assume everybody is rafting. Paperwork, t-shirts, rafting, payments. That's pretty much all back office stuff that I need to cover. So we'll do a quick Q&A. Does anybody have questions on paperwork, t-shirts, payments, anything like that?
I have a
If you
question
do have a
about the
question,
paperwork,
yes.
but I don't know if I want to stop all these people down for it, but I'll make this one really quick, I think. There's one that I
Okay.
don't think necessarily applies, and we can take this offline if you want. There's a health statement by licensed medical personnel. Uh, and he got his physical through like an emergency clinic who did the full physical, but he doesn't have an actual doctor. So
Okay.
they wouldn't sign this one because this says I've seen all his records and they haven't seen the records. So they're like, I can't really sign this one, but I still have the physical, full physical. And that
Okay.
seems like
Email,
just
yeah.
advice.
Shoot me an email tomorrow and we can discuss that.
Okay.
Okay. And then someone else had their hand raised. Who was that?
Um,
That Mark?
oh, well, Mark, I'm first.
No, yeah, no, go ahead.
Oh.
Matt, go ahead. Oh, either one.
I'll make it real quick. For the one about the administering medication, it says it has to be signed by a healthcare provider with prescriptive authority. Now, could the pharmacy sign that, or does it have to be the doctor who prescribes it?
Honestly, that part doesn't matter as long as your signature is on it. All you really need to say is I will provide medicine to my daughter or to my son.
Okay, good. So yeah, because
Yeah.
getting a signature from her doctor on this is gonna be hard. So I just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
You don't need to do that. Just write on there that you will provide and administer all
All right,
medications.
perfect.
And
Thank
then
you.
just sign it. Yeah.
Or not applicable if there's no medication.
Well, it
Right.
is applicable. That's why I want to make sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay, Mark.
Sure. Thanks, Megan. If I sent all of the documents onto that portal, I think it's Box or Dropbox, I didn't get a confirmation that it was done. So
Okay, yeah, I'm still working through the paperwork that's come in, so I will make sure that I got it and I will email you tomorrow.
thank you. That's all I had.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Is it important to include whatever medication we're going to bring along, or that's the same answer as I just heard? Just I will administer
I
medication.
mean, yeah, if it's life-saving medication, then I would write it on there just in case for some reason you happen to be incapacitated and can't give your child medicine, at least they'll know what it's for. If it's Advil, multivitamins, ADD medication, you know, you don't
Yeah.
need to go into detail on that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Okie dokie. Well, then I think we'll go ahead and jump. Oh, yes.
Hey,
Somebody-
Becca, maybe y'all were saying this. I apologize. I'm just now able to hear y'all. This is Greg Seville. On the
Hi, Greg.
medical or the medicines, hypothetically, if Romeo needed or some student needed like an allergy medicine, is that worth putting that information down? Or if I just happen to have it and can give it to them as needed, that would be sufficient?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay,
Yeah, you
thanks.
can just say I'll administer medication as needed.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going through our roster here. Man, we have a lot of y'all on. I'm so excited to see everybody logged on for this meeting. Okay, well, I think if that's that, if you do have questions that you don't feel comfortable asking right now, please just shoot me an email tonight and I will get back to you tomorrow to work through any questions you have on that.
So,
And on the
question?
t-shirts, when we're going to distribute those on the trip or beforehand?
Yeah, so the June trek will get their t-shirts on the trek. The July trek, if they're available to come pick up at the office, they can come pick them up. Otherwise, we'll distribute it on the trek as well as the Suns. I will say, if you choose to come pick up your shirt, you must remember to pack it. Don't forget it. We've had that happen before. So, yes, and then again, just a quick reminder on the rafting. If you plan on not rafting, shoot me an email, send me a text, let me know by the end of this week. Okay, and then any other questions that you'll have, just, email me, call me. I'm available. All right, John, you want to go through the schedule?
Yeah, I'll hit this high level. You guys have the packet, all this information is in there, but I'll do this to just see if it spurs any questions, and then we'll open it up for any Q&A that you guys have. So we'll be leaving on the Friday of your week. Plan to drive to Dumas, New Mexico, and we'll be eating dinner as a group at the 287 Roadhouse. So it's probably a good 6 hours to get to Dumas. You can put it in your phone and see how long it'll take you from where you live. But it's well on the other side of Amarillo. This there. You guys need to make your own hotel reservations in Dumas. There's several hotels there. The 287 Roadhouse is next door to the Best Western, but there's other hotels that are in Dumas that are close by. A short drive or short walk to 287. This there. Okay, so that's going to be our gathering point. It's going to be at in Dumas. Probably the leaders will be setting up like a group text or something like that we could all be in touch, and I'll text you out what time we're going to be meeting Dumas. We'll make a reservation, and then we'll all have dinner together, and that'll be a time that we can kind of coordinate timing for the next day. Okay, but you need to make your own reservation in Dumas. That dinner is also not hats paid. Some others are, but this one is not. So you'll be taking your own check at the 287 Roadhouse. All right. The next morning we'll be leaving by 8:00, 8:30 to go to Mount Capelin Volcano. About a 2.5 hour drive there. And we'll kind of go in a loose caravan, not real tight, but just within easy reach of each other because you need to know where to turn. But there is a bunch of signs. We're going to go to Mount Capelon. When you turn off the main road, it's about 2 or 3 miles back, and then another right, and you got to go back about a half a mile to get back to the visitor station. Not all the cars can go to the top of the mountain. It's limited parking, so have you guys park in the parking lot. We'll consolidate cars, and we'll take as few cars as we can up to the top. But that's why we need to leave early because we want to get there early so we can all get up there, and we'll spend about an hour up there on top of the mountain. It's really nice. It's your first acclimation as we start heading up north into into the mountains. But we'll spend about an hour and a half with you and your daughter, you and your son, to explore Mount Capelon. But you'll enjoy the experience. From there, we'll drive to Raton, Mexico, and we'll have lunch there at the Casa Limas restaurant. I'll have a reservation for us going in, and then after lunch we'll drive to Alamosa. So that's about 50 miles north of the Colorado state line, and then about 70 miles west. And we'll go to Alamosa, check into hotels, set your room up, and then pretty quick we'll be headed over to Great Sand Dunes, which is a short drive from Alamosa. You'll see the Great Sand Dunes on your way to Alamosa. They're on the right. You'll see them pretty distinct there. But we're going to check in the hotel around 4:45. And then about 5 o'clock, we're going to try to head to the Great Sand Dunes. And then I'll have pizza, or whoever's leading will have pizza at the hotel in the lobby, and we can all eat there after we go to the sand dunes. Next day, we load up and we start our drive up to AI Camp. We'll go to Monarch Pass. We'll make a stop up there at the very top of the mountain. It could be very cold up there. You're at about 14,000 feet. Sometimes we get snow and sleet up there, believe it or not, but it happens frequently. But we'll do a hike up to the peak of that. That'll be our first peak ascent. And from there, we'll descend by car, and then we'll go into Gunnison for lunch. You guys will be on your own for that. And then we'll meet at a parking lot, Walmart parking lot. I'll give you the address for on the north side of Gunnison. We'll all kind of gather up, gas up, and then we'll head to AI Camp from that Walmart parking lot, and we'll get to AI around 4 o'clock. So it's a good couple-hour drive to get up to AI Camp. Okay. Once we get there, we'll get settled in, get in the cabins. And let me pause here on cabins. So for let's see, Megan, would you mind covering this? I think you covered all the details of this with AI on how this is going to be managed.
Yeah,
have the notes
so
with
I don't have all the notes, they're at my office, but the June trek, we'll have one cabin for the dads and one cabin for the daughters. Y'all have 11 teams, and each cabin can hold 12. The July trek will be 9 teams and 10 teams split. And then for the July, the 10 and 9 who are in the cabins together will also go backpacking together. And then the sons, y'all are going to be, I think, I need to double check this, but I think y'all are going to be in their, what they call snow cabins, where y'all are able to kind of figure out if you want all the dads to bunk together, all the sons to bunk together. Y'all kind of have the opportunity to kind of pick how you want to do your sleeping arrangements. So they will help you work that out when you get up there for the sons. But for the daughters, your cabin assignments are already done. And we'll give those to you when we get to AE camp.
And your leader will be handling that once you get there. The snow cabins are they're nice. They're just a little further away than the normal cabins are, if you guys have been there before. But we got 14 boys teams going on this. It's our I think by far our biggest boys group that's ever gone up there.
Mhm.
So they too big of a group for two cabins down the main camp, and so we need to go up to the snow camps. It's a good problem to have.
That'll be
but
fun. They're
yeah.
fun cabins.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Not that they're not that far away. It's not like a half mile or anything. It's just a couple of yards. Okay. Thanks, Megan.
Mhm.
All right. So that will take us to so that'll be Sunday night, and we're all at AA camp. We're all checked in, and then Monday we do a low ropes and high ropes course that day. Low ropes in the morning, high ropes in the afternoon. AI leads all that, and then Tuesday we'll have half backpacking and half horseback riding. We'll do half a day, and then we'll do a swap. And AI will be running those activities. And then Wednesday, we'll start backpacking. We'll have Tuesday night will be the night that we get all the gear ready for backpacking. And I can come back to that in a minute. We'll be backpacking on Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday we'll be returning back to AI camp on backpacking for a sauna and showers. And then Saturday, we get up early and we head to whitewater rafting, and we'll be getting there probably, I think around. Seems like we got to get there around 8 or 8:30. I don't have the time here, but then we give it to the outfitter, and it's an all-day event on the river. Really good food, beautiful, beautiful time on the river. And then when that ends, that will be when everybody can go back to go back to Dallas at the end of the day on Saturday. Okay, so that's a real high-level view of the schedule. I would plan to get back to Dallas on Sunday. And you guys will need to make your own reservations coming back if you want to stay in. A lot of people stay in Raton or go back to Dumas. We've even had a few people push all the way to Amarillo, but that's a long drive after all day on rafting to do that. But people have done it. I would suggest either Raton or Dumas would be my preference. Okay. Okay. So that is the itinerary, and any questions on itinerary, and then we'll go to Q&A.
How's the travel in an electric car stopping at Tesla stations?
Well, the only place I think that you could be a challenge is between Gunnison and AI camp and AI camp back to Gunnison. So, how many miles can you go on your charge?
Real miles is probably 200, I think. 250, I don't something.
Yeah, you'll have time to recharge in Gunnison for sure.
But you will not have any way to charge at AE camp.
Yeah, they won't be able to do it. So let me check on the distance of that.
There is
Exactly
a-
how far it
There is
is.
a Tesla supercharger near Gunnison. I did look at that. So if you have access to, and you can use Teslas, there is a supercharger about 45 minutes outside of AEI.
Okay, that's all.
Thanks, David.
Okay,
Steve.
that'd be good. Yeah, and if you need to separate from the group a little bit to get charged before you get there, we'll leave that Walmart parking lot. If you got to stop, just tell your leader that's what you're going to do, and we'll just know that's what you need to do in order to get back to town. So that'll be fine. Okay. All right. So I think you're in good shape with that.
Yeah. Thanks.
All right. What other questions do you have on that itinerary of the drive up? Okay. All right. Well, let's open it up just to general questions. We can answer anything you guys got.
I imagine this has been covered on a previous call that we weren't on. But tell me about backpack gear that I need or don't need. The actual backpack
Yeah.
and tent.
AI camp will will have tents that you can rent by purchase, and I think they're like, I don't know, $10 or something for a tent, but you can get them from there. and sleeping bags they have available as well. They don't have like comfortable air mattresses. They probably just have like those ridge rest type things, just to keep you off the ground. We have a lot of backpacks and I think that our backpacks are probably better than the ones they have at AI Camp. And we have about 20. So if you got your own backpack, that'd be best. But if you want to get one from us, you can come borrow one from, check one out from us. Just need to make sure that you turn in as soon as you get back because we got groups behind you that are going to be using the same backpacks. So
We should come by sometime for the July trip. Come by sometime after the June trip, but
Yeah.
before in between.
And Don and I need to work out like a little checkout system, but we'll come up with some way. But if you got your own gear, that's best. Bring your own tent, bring your own sleeping bag. If you got all that, that'd be fine. We don't have a lot of that at the Hats office to borrow. So we have backpacks, but that's about it that we have to loan
You
out.
do have backpacking backpacks. I need to look at the capacity of them. What's the is that in the packet, the capacity size?
I would say 55 would be what you need. A 55 liter.
Okay.
Would be minimum. Maybe if you carried a 55 and your son or daughter might carry one a little bit smaller, but you are carrying a good bit of gear up there. But I would say 55 or bigger.
But if we're
I
planning
will
on
warn you
using,
guys that if you bring a 70-liter backpack and you got a lot of extra room, they're gonna say, oh, and they're carrying up crew gear, and they're like, oh, he's got lots of room, and they're gonna give you more in there. So 55 to 60 is the best size.
John, I know last time we had went, I think I'd rented a sleeping bag and just brought my own liner. I think they had recommended that. Are they still doing sleeping bags as well?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
And they got cook gear. You can get a cup and plates, and they got pretty much everything there that you might need.
so if we're planning on using them, we don't need to tell you ahead of time. In other words, I'm planning on using all their gear or most of it.
Yeah, it'd be fine. They're going to ask you, they're going to give you a chance to tell them, like the Tuesday before, our guy will say, hey, if you want to get stuff, get with us and give us, give us what you need. And they'll start making a list, make sure they have it. So they're really, they're very accustomed to this and they've got a lot of gear and they have a way to, get your order, get it checked out to you, check it back in when you're back.
Nice.
So it's a full service outfitter up there.
But did I understand you to say that we're going to pick it up here or we pick everything up there? I'm sorry.
You pick it up there.
Oh, right.
If you want to borrow our backpacks, you can get them here. But if you don't, you don't have to. They got them there too.
I'm just gonna do it there. Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's just a busier night. The advantage of getting a backpack from us here is you can pre-pack it with your clothes and everything. And otherwise you're going to be doing all that Tuesday night. And it can make for a long night on Tuesday night, packing all that stuff up, for the first time on Tuesday night. So that's why there's a little bit of advantage of getting ours. And then you can pre-pack your clothes and, that kind of stuff in the backpacks. And
yeah,
and I tell you guys, that's what I do. I take my backpack and I pack it up just like all I want to do is just pick it up and carry it. I have a separate sleeping bag. I've got an extra air mattress. I have clothes are in there. I pack it up just like I'm going to get. And when it's time to go, I just put it on and walk. And so that's it makes for a much easier Tuesday night if you've got the gear to do that. If you don't, there's plenty of time Tuesday to do it and plenty of help to get it packed up.
Let me ask you about that. That would be nice to do in advance. Is there guidance on what goes into the backpack?
Yeah, we do have a gear list that AI gives you, and we can go through that now.
But I mean, for the backpacking trip, it's how many, how much stuff for for the number of nights that we're out. And
it's not much. We actually go through while we're there, AI actually steps us through it. Most of what you're packing in there is crew gear, honestly.
You're carrying, I can AI will go through it. There is a page in your packet as well that has a list. And if it will be helpful, I can go through and make a list on my own that I can send you to that of what I carry. And so I would say that you want to the things that's really important to know when you're going for the backpack is you don't want to have any cotton clothing. So make sure that you bring synthetics up there, because if cotton gets wet, it cannot dry. And you'll get really cold up there, because it will easily get into the 40s, and sometimes it'll dip into the 30s depending on the weather. You definitely want rain gear. At a minimum, you want a good rain jacket that's up there, because it's guaranteed to rain when you're up in the mountains. It'll rain every day up there. At least 2 water bottles, but with a liter each. But I usually carry a Hydro Pack plus 2 bottles, so you have enough water. You're up there 2 nights, so I normally will wear. I'll wear 1 pair of long pants, and then I'll carry one in case they get wet, and then a shirt for each day.
And hey,
Your
John,
long sleeve,
what degree sleeping bag do you suggest?
at least a 30.
Okay.
So if you have a 30 degree, you'll be fine. I mean, if it's a little chilly, you can wear your hat shirt and some long pants and socks, and you'll be perfectly fine with a 30-degree bag.
Okay.
Let's see. Your synthetic hat shirt's a good one to have. Bring a fleece, bring a puffy, bring some good wool socks, not cotton socks. You can get those from REI, like Darn Toughs, or there's a lot of different brands that's there. Good hiking shoes. You don't need to wear boots. I wear trail runners when I backpack, and all terrain. So if you want to wear boots, you can, but it's not required. Just whatever you get, just break them in. Trail runners don't require as much break in, but that's what I hike in.
Did you sit in chat?
I'm sorry, say again.
Sorry. Is there a gear you don't recommend renting from AI?
Gear that I recommend you get from them?
You recommend bringing and not renting from them?
No, they can cover everything you need. If you want to go up there and not invest the money because you're not going to go backpacking again, or don't feel like it's not your jam, you don't want to spend the money on it, you can get everything from them. It's fine. They'll have everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Zach, you got a question?
I do. If necessary, will we have access to running water to filter?
Yeah, we'll be camping near up there. We'll be camping next to a stream, so there's not going to be like potable water at the backpacking site. But we'll be near a running stream that we can filter water.
Okay.
Yeah, they will only take us to mountains that have water available.
Yeah. I would say it's, if you're going to bring one piece of gear out there besides your clothes, I would say maybe a Jetboil would be helpful, so you can make your own hot chocolate in the morning without waiting for the crew to gear it, or at least have a friend that this on the trip, either have one, y'all can split one. Maybe a water filter. I mean, might be a good idea. I wouldn't spend a bunch of money on it. There's plenty of them that are out there. I usually bring a Sawyer squeeze that I can have, and I can just deal with my own water. But if you don't, there's the crew we'll have lots of water filters. You may just have to wait until it all gets out there and gets filtered. But
and hats provide some for each trek as well. So you'll have the hats provided ones and the AE ones.
Yeah. So I would say essentials would be consider a Jetboil. I would definitely make sure that you bring a headlamp for lighting, because it gets very dark out there. Don't forget your pillow, good sleeping bag. Bring something to eat on, because the AEI's got like some metal stuff that you can you can eat, and you can use that. But if you want to bring your own cook gear, you can, to eat out of.
Can I ask what you mean about that? So if they've got something to eat on, then why bring something to eat on? It's
Yeah, it's really, I mean,
saying bring
guys,
your own something that's lighter.
yeah,
Whatever they're-
let me start from the top. Okay, I'm going to say that I would bring let me look through here. Just give me one sec to kind of circle what you guys got to have. Okay, so I'm not just talking off the top of my head.
From the AI list
Uh,
or the hats list.
I'll go off the AI. We have a HATS list and AI list on here both. So let me go off that. I'll go off the AI list. All right, so I'm going to skip. All right, let's see, do that. Sunscreen, insect repellent, sleeping bag. Okay. 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 All right. So I'm going off the AI list. This is what I would say would be essential that I would bring from home. Everything else I think you can get from AI. I'd bring a couple of water bottles at minimum 1 liter each. Definitely bring your own rain gear for sure. They got ponchos there, but you want your own rain gear. Bring clothes. I'd bring 1 extra pair of pants. And I would bring a shirt for each day and make sure you bring your HATS long sleeve shirt. I would bring a fleece and I'd bring a puffy. I would bring non-cotton socks, wool socks, darn toughs.
Sorry, quick interruption. Megan, I'm not sure we ordered long sleeve shirts.
Your Colorado shirt is long sleeve, the one that Megan was talking about.
Okay, good. Okay.
It's fine up in the mountains.
And did you say, by the way, we have to pick that up beforehand? I'm sorry, John. Do we have to pick that up?
We'll have them out there either way. We'll bring them. If you pick them up, you can have them. But any that aren't picked up, we'll bring.
Thank you. Sorry.
Okay. You want to make sure you bring some sunscreen. You want to bring bug spray because it can be very buggy up there in the meadow. Bring sure you bring a good you can rent a sleeping bag from AI, so that's fine. If you have your own, make sure it's a 30-degree or less. Bring a flashlight and a headlamp. You'll definitely need that. Make sure you bring a pillow because it's pretty visual up there if you forget it. Bring a few snacks. AI will have a little bit, but you want to bring maybe 3 per day, especially on the peak ascent day. But I would plan for 3 a day at least. Going up, the peak ascent day, and then coming down.
Do we need to bring food to the
No, I would just bring snacks like Cliff Bars, things like that. Just jerky. I wouldn't bring, I would say at a minimum. A lot of people bring a lot more than that, but as a minimum, I would bring at least that to hike, to fuel yourself as you're hiking. And you also want to bring a portable charger to recharge your phone for pictures and that kind of stuff while you're up there. Okay. Let's see. AI gives you a list of things not to bring. Any cotton clothes, any a lot of this we don't bring out of hats. I mean, you guys know the drill with a lot of this, pets. All right, so mainly not cotton clothes. AI says we provide backpacks, tents, cooking stoves, water filters, cooking and eating utensils, first aid kits, and sleeping bags. And they will have sleeping pads as well. I don't think they're inflatable. I think they're ridge rest. So, okay. All right. Does that help? Make sure you bring a credit card up there because depending on the mountain, we usually stop at a really good burger place on the way home called Frenchie's. That's the mountains we hike on. 3 of the 4 we're able to stop at Frenchie's, and even last year, they made the extra drive to get to Frenchie's when they were on the other mountain. So we usually stop there on the way down. And so you want your credit card there to buy some burgers and shakes and stuff at Frenchie's.
Hey, Andrew. Andrew,
Yes, pardon me.
what's a well, I'm sorry. What's a puppy? What is a puppy?
It's a like a puffy jacket, like an insulated jacket that's like goose down or feather down that you see, the little Michelin Man type.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, one of those.
And
Because
then,
they're warm and they're compressed. They compress really really small.
and do they have backpack covers? You said it's gonna be raining a bunch.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. Thank you.
But I would recommend, just as general practice, I will buy a big black contractor bag and
Yeah.
line my backpack with that, and I throw everything that can get wet. I throw in there, and then wrap it up. That way it can't get wet. Even if your sleeping bag gets wet, you'll hit that. Anything in that black bag won't get wet. And then outside of that, you can put like your tent. But anything I want to stay dry, I put in that black bag, roll it up, and it's in my backpack, waterproofed.
Okay.
So that's the way I handle it, and that's the way most backpackers handle it.
What about camping chairs? Do we need to bring low chairs for up at altitude?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you've got one that's like not super heavy, like a Crazy Creek or something like that are not too heavy, or you can buy like ultralight chairs now that are pretty, they don't cost very much, but the chairs are a good thing to have because there is some time around camp. So I would say that's a good investment. Now AI will not have those. So you can look around on the Amazon and find different options that you can use. But I will carry one up there. But it's about yay big. It costs just shy of $100 or so that I use. But I will take one up there because it is much more comfortable to have a chair. Or you can take a Crazy Creek. It's fine.
Would you
Crazy
recommend?
Creek's only cost like $30.
Would you recommend one of those like mosquito face net things?
A lot of people, it depends on your sensitivity to it. I normally don't, but a lot of people do. So if you, it would not be a bad thing to have it. I mean, they don't take up much room. They weigh almost nothing. And if you if you want one, it's better to have it and not use it than wish you had it and not have it. So you can get them real cheap, and it's a good thing to have in your backpack. And if they're real thick, you might be really happy that you have one.
John, what is it you said instead of the chairs was the other option?
Crazy Creek, Crazy, Crazy Creek, and they're little. They're little chairs. They're basically like a stadium chair that's made out of cloth. They just lay
Got
flat.
it. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay.
And then they just sit on the ground.
Yeah. Okay. And then can you talk a little bit about, do we know what peak we're gonna ascend and how that process looks like? And once we get up there, the 2 days that we're there, what's the schedule once we get up there?
It's one of four. They are assigned which ones they don't know yet. So they won't know until a couple of days before, and they have to work with the National Park Service as to which mountain is open. But it's usually one of four. There's Mount Ann, there's Mount Tilton, and gosh, I can't remember the other two, but they're all on the Continental Divide. And so they will tell me which one we're going to. We really don't have a choice. In all cases, we will hike. They will bring us up part of the way in a van to a trailhead, and we'll start hiking. Usually the hike is around 3 to 5 miles at the most, somewhere in there. It's a good couple hours that we hike, and it's pretty up, I mean, because you're going up the mountain, and we'll just take our time going up. They'll have someone leading, and they'll have someone sweeping, and we usually get to camp, right at lunchtime or a little after, and give us time to set camp. Pretty good. So, it's a good experience hiking up there, and we'll go to a base, basically a meadow where we'll go, a big flat spot. Usually it's really pretty near some water, and you'll have plenty of time to set your tent up and have some time in the afternoon. Dinner that night, the crew, the crew cooks all the food for us. We help carry the crew up there, but they're cooking for everybody, and they do all the cooking and cleaning up and everything like that. And then we'll get up early the next morning. We'll do our peak ascent. Usually we're getting up at like 5 a.m. or something like that to get up, because we want to be up on the mountain, and we want to be on our way back down by 11, because that's when the storms, when rain clouds and storms start developing in the Rockies, is around 11 to 12. So usually 11, you want to be off the top of the mountain. So that's why we get up early, go up there and do the peak ascent, get back down, and then we have the afternoon free to take a nap and spend some time together. And dinner that night. The next day we pack up and leave about mid-morning.
Okay. And typically, how high is base camp? And you said it's about, you would say about a couple of 1,000 feet ascent on the hike with the backpacks?
Yeah, I'd say about probably 1,000 to 2,000.
Okay. Okay.
Be my guess. Usually the peaks up there, we're not doing a 14 or I think Mount Ann is like 13.3, 13.4.
Okay.
So usually you're going about 1,000 to 2,000 on the way up, and then 1,000 to 2,000 on the second day. So I would say we're probably camping like just below 10,000.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
And John,
So-
that first time that we go up the Continental Divide, before we even get to base camp, that's even higher than both of these mountains that we're going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're not up there for long. I think Monarch is like right at 14. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a little higher. And that's why you got snow and stuff up there. But we are driving up that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have a short hike up there, about a mile, to get up to the very, very top of it. But all these, it really helps with acclimation. And that's why we're there for a few days, and we do it so that when we get up on the backpack, it's more enjoyable. Just drink lots of water. When you get there, that's the best remedy for altitude sickness is water. And if you start feeling a headache, that's the first symptom of altitude sickness. And normally it's because you're dehydrated. So just drink a lot of water. You can bring an altitude sickness med if you want to. There's nothing wrong with getting it. It's easy to get. Doesn't make you sleepy or anything. If you're a little worried about it, take that, but just make sure you stay hydrated, the whole time you're there.
And
I would really start hydrating before you get there.
Yeah.
Like about the week before, you should really cut down on any carbonated drinks and sugary drinks and really focus on your water intake.
Yeah. And if you haven't started a little cardio routine, you still got still got 5 weeks, 6 weeks. It'd be good to start getting into that. So the more you can do, the better time you'll have. So start doing some walks. Find a hill, start doing some hill climbs, and the more you can kind of get your body kind of acclimated to that kind of exercise, it'll be a much you'll have a better time up there. Even the base camp is high. I mean, the base camp itself is probably at, I don't know, somewhere like 8,000 or 9,000 feet. So I mean, when you start walking around just at AI base camp, it's it takes a little while to get your breath.
Also, if you're a coffee drinker, don't try and go cold turkey this trip without coffee, because that will guarantee you a headache. So please plan accordingly if you are a coffee drinker. AE used to make coffee in the morning, but I don't think they do that anymore. They will provide you with
They
hot
didn't
water.
last year, yeah.
So just plan on bringing your own instant coffee if you are a coffee drinker.
Yeah. Yeah, so bring JetBoil to the cabin with some Starbucks instant at a minimum.
With regards to car, like a minivan would be fine on the trip? Minivan or
Yeah, it won't be in trouble.
Okay.
Hey, John.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake I see, you guys did the backpacking back, in the fall of your ninth grade. It's easy to overpack, and so you want to keep your pack if you can. You want to keep it around no more than 30 pounds. So you don't need to overpack on with your own stuff with food, and you don't need to take too many clothes and like a bunch of extra shoes and that kind of stuff. Just kind of think of it, the minimum that you need. But I think the list I gave you, as long as you have decent clothes, a puffy, a rain gear, and a fleece, that'll be plenty enough to keep you warm. Extra pair of pants in case it gets wet, and a shirt for each day. And that's usually what I take when I'm out.
What about water shoes for crossing for the backpack? Do we need those or no?
Well, yeah, that's a good idea. I don't remember having a water crossing, but if there's a lot of rain, we could run into one. So I would get something really lightweight like Crocs and just attach it to the outside of your pack with a carabiner. And that way you can get to them fast. You're not having to dig them out, so keep your water shoes and your rain gear, very easy to get to, very fast to get to. When it starts raining, you can get to it quickly. The other thing I have not mentioned, guys, is trek poles. So if you can get trek poles, and I think AI, do you know if AI has those at Megan?
I don't remember them doing them in the past.
Yeah, if you guys, I use trek poles and I'll definitely bring them. I find them very useful for me to keep your balance and to help get up the mountain. I'll always use them. So if you can look, you can get some pretty inexpensive, like at Academy. They're like aluminum. Without having, you don't need to get carbon fiber or anything super fancy. You may can even find them on, Facebook Marketplace or something. But if you feel like that's something you'd like to use, I use them. I'll definitely have mine. But that's just me. Not everybody uses them, but I like them.
Hey, John, what kind of rain gear do you recommend? Is it still Frog Togs? I've had some trouble with them kind of tearing.
Well, I think Frog Togs is your best inexpensive course. And you can get a Frog Tog ultralight, pretty easy. And about to lose my battery. Hold on. Plugged in. Oh, one sec. Hold on, guys. Uh-oh. I would go with Frog Tog Ultralight or just regular Frog Togs, but I like the Frog Tog Ultralights. They pack up really, really tight, and they're easy to use, not expensive.
Okay. What about a day pack for that day that we are hiking up? What kind of pack do you use? Like what do we need to be thinking about for that? Because I've had some pretty basic things I've used in the past.
Yeah, you carry a day pack. I carry like a little flash pack that's like 20 liter. And so you definitely need one for sure, maybe both of you. And in it, you'll have snacks. Always have your rain gear every day. Um, and you carry that around with you throughout the day on base camp. Even up on the mountain, when we go on the sand dunes, you want to carry your day pack every day. So the minimum you want in it is some snacks, water bottle, and rain gear for sure, and then anything else you want for that day.
And then as far as doing like the backpacking trek with a day pack, a lot of the backpacks they provide, the top part comes off and it turns into a little fanny pack. So you wouldn't need to bring like an extra bag for that. You would just take your top part off, load it with your snacks, and then one of you could wear like a fanny pack.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
And
that's a
AE
good question. The day
AE
packs
will
are
talk about that.
definitely, yeah, the day packs are definitely needed. You guys usually have one on our hats trips, but you'll definitely need one on this trip for sure every day.
Mm-hmm.
Can you remind me what size of backpack we typically use?
Backpack, I would say 55 liter to 60.
Okay.
Day pack, I would say 20 liter.
Okay. And then you talked
Um,
about bringing a charging station for at night. Do they allow us to charge during the day to recharge those things?
They're a little stingy on their power. So I would get one big enough that you probably just need to recharge once or twice. They're very limited on power up there.
Everything
So,
is solar run.
Okay.
They are very off grid up there. So, I
Yeah.
mean, if you forget to turn your light bulb off in the cabin, then you're going to be without power for maybe
yeah.
days. So,
So I bring a couple up there. I think Anatoly, I was trying to pull up this email that I got from him because he actually told me what size they got, and I was trying to pull this document up.
And I was talking to Jim Bussing. So I usually use a CPAP, and it's
Yeah.
not bad going without it for a couple of nights, but going without it for a lot of nights. I know that Jim was able to somehow pull it off while he was up there. I don't know if that's changed or if I just kind of talked to him about how he did that.
that's a medical thing, and AE might be a little more flexible with medical.
Mhm.
So you might just make sure you write that on your doctor side medical form, and we can talk to AE about allowing you to charge that.
Yeah, I can speak to my experience. I brought one when I went, and I had to bring the battery, like the big battery that you can buy for a CPAP, and they did let me charge my battery for the CPAP.
Right. Thank you.
I found this with what Antoli recommended is you needed 200 watts of battery power per dad to charge phones. And in his cabin, they had some guys brought like a Bluetti or a Yeti, and they had two 600-watt power stations. So if you guys have one of those big ones at home and can bring it fully charged and just have it in your cabin, that might really be helpful too.
All right. Anybody else have questions?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the sand dunes. It hasn't been brought up. Everybody that I've ever talked to about this trip says that the sand dunes is the most challenging they have to be ready for. So I'm just thinking for that part, I'm guessing just a day pack would be good. Now, what about chairs? Are you going to need to bring chairs for that, or no? Okay, yeah.
I
The
don't think
less
so.
weight, the better.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, and what do you recommend? Because I've heard some people say bring sand socks and don't worry about the shoes. Some people say bring good shoes. Yeah. What do you recommend overall?
Yeah, man, I've seen all types. Um,
It's gonna depend on your feet, really. And if you're at the beach, think about how you walk in the sand, if you prefer shoes or not.
My feet are almost 50 years old and have plantar fasciitis. So that's
Yeah, so you might want some good support.
I wear, for me, Matt, I wear my trail runners up there with socks, and that's what I wear. Some other guys are more comfortable with Vibrams or even I think barefoot would be pretty tough. I mean, it's pretty
I
great.
do barefoot.
Do you?
I do
Okay.
either barefoot or socks.
All right. So
My-
it just kind of depends on you do you on that.
I would
But
definitely plan on bringing your rain gear though, because sometimes it can be extremely windy and you'll get pelted with sand and it will feel like sandpaper rubbing on your skin.
yeah, a lot of people will bring like snow goggles or something, for the wind, but I've not
Just
done
depends
that.
on
I've
the
been up there
day.
about 5 times. I've never had to. I've been up there when it was really blowing hard too, and I never used them. But it's up to you. If you really are worried about it, don't want it, don't want that stuff in your eyes, then you might want to just throw those in your day pack just in case if you need them, because it can be very, very windy up there if there's a storm nearby.
Okay.
I'm kind of a minimalist. If you guys haven't,
Yeah, smart. I can tell you a horror story. I made the mistake of wearing my hiking boots up the sand dunes, and the sand got stuck in between the waterproof barrier and the cloth. So like my hiking boots were full of sand. It was crazy. So don't wear your hiking boots on the sand dunes.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a lot of logistics, guys, but I mean, none of it is, none of it is undoable. I mean, everything is designed to be a challenge. So just like it is in HAS. So you want it to be an adventure, and you want to, and there's some stuff that we work for, but there's payoff at the end. And listen, 99% of the people that've been on this trip since 1996 have made it to the top of the sand dune and made it to the top of those peaks. So we all do it together and take care of each other. And so it's all doable and it's all worth it. So just embrace the challenge. Everything is a challenge. So row ropes, high ropes, it's all stuff that's new to you. And that's the whole idea, is for it to be a time that you'll never forget. And so
Real quick, Josh asked a question. He wanted to know if they park near the cabins at AE camp. You park near the cabins to unload some of your gear, and then we drive the cars to a parking lot that's about a half a mile walk from the cabins. So you'll be able to drop your gear, and then you can also store your backpacking gear in your car. And then before you go backpacking, you have the opportunity to go get your gear from the car and bring it back down.
Yeah. If you just kind of think out, looking at the Chin Range, kind of thinking out when, just kind of make it easy so you're not unpacking and repacking all the time. And to me, the biggest beat down is Tuesday night. So the more you can do in advance on Tuesday night before the backpack, the better, because that can be a long night as you're packing all that up. So just kind of have your clothes set aside and have that ready to go, and it saves you a lot of time. But we have plenty of time to do it, so it's all good. Okay.
Megan, maybe you mentioned it early on. I'm sorry I had to get on a little bit late, but if we have, I still haven't gotten my daughter's medical certification. We'll get that done. But do you want all the other forms aside from that? Do you want to get them, or do you want them all at once?
Yeah, that's fine. You can send all of those, and then once you get her medical forms, you can send that after.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. I just need to make sure I have all of your stuff before your trek.
Got it.
So I'll just do one quick reminder: paperwork, if you can, everything by June 1st. If there are a few straggles, like, your doctor's appointment is a little later, just let me know, so I can account for that. Immune records are only for the kids, and please make sure you fill out all the immune records on the Colorado form. If you don't, I'm going to send it back to you and ask you to do that. And payments are due June 1st. You'll get your t-shirts on your trek if you're in the June group. If you're in July, you can come pick them up by the office. I will send an email out and let you all know when they're ready, or you can get them on the trek. And then please let me know if you cannot attend the rafting trip, part of the trip. And other than that, I think y'all are all ready to go. And then
let me just give you three final thoughts. I would ask you guys to really be intentional about the time. Everything is, as you guys can tell, there's some schedules that are there. So the more that we have a meetup time, the more that you guys can commit to be where we need to be at the time that we need to be there. It really helps a great deal for the leaders when we go, because it can snowball and get us. It makes it for a little more of a stressful time for us to get from place to place, and there's a lot of people that's there. So I just ask you guys to do that and just be intentional about when we have a time to meet that time. Secondly, I would really encourage you guys to just take a breath and enjoy this time with your daughter and your son, because listen, my baby is 22 now. And I don't get this time again. I don't know when I'll ever be with him one-on-one for 10 days. And it goes, that time passes fast. So, just enjoy every minute that you have out there. with your son or your daughter, and plan to go up there, drive up there by yourself so you can just be together. Do everything you can with them, and just make this an enjoyable time for them. And so that when you come back on, you guys can reflect on it, and it's nothing but positives. Okay. Enjoy and hit these challenges, man, and do it together. Because when you come off that, listen, there's nothing more terrifying than jumping off that pamper pole. I'm telling you. No one's legs have shaked harder than mine on top of that thing. But I'm glad I did it, because I got a picture with me on all three of them, hugging each other and celebrating the fact that we did it together. And these are memories that you're only going to be able to make here. And so I would really encourage you guys to do that. Okay. It's a wonderful, unforgettable time that you have with your kid. And daughters and sons, you may not, you don't know, you may underestimate it, but you're gonna value this time with your dad too. Take time to spend together. Commit. You guys are gonna make a lot of friends along the way, and girls you're gonna pal up. But always make time for each other. Okay, every day.
And then I want to make one point that I forgot to mention earlier. During the Pamper Pole and the High Ropes course, y'all just need to be prepared that there's going to be a lot of downtime during that part. It takes a long time for people to go through these courses. So just be prepared for that, whether you want to bring some kind of game for you and your kid to do or something. Just be prepared that the high ropes part of the day, you'll have a lot of downtime.
And I fill that downtime by you encouraging these terrified dads and daughters up there, because it helps when you got everybody out there watching, and encourage them that they can do it. And on the high ropes course, guys, you're going to see some wobbly feet. You're going to see some wobbly legs up there. And it helps when we're all supporting each other. It goes a long, long way. So that's what I would encourage you to do as well.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions? If not, just email us if y'all think about something, and we'll see you on the road.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
And I'll post this video tomorrow.
Thank you.